We are going to be making this snap pouch today. What you need is 2 pieces of tape measure cut to the length you want. I cut mine to 6.5, and then I put black electrical tape on the ends to protect from cuts. You need 2 4-inch squares, 2 rectangles that are 4.5 by a little bit wider than this, so mine are 7. 1 piece of batting, and this is 7 inches wide by twice the length you want, or the height you want your pouch. Mine is 6 inches, so this is 12 inches by 7 inches. And then 2 fabrics the same size. So first what you're going to do is make your quilt sandwich. And if you want to quilt these, you can. I chose not to. So you layer those like that. You're going to get these rectangles, you're going to fold them in half like this. And if you want to pin, you can. On your inside, whichever one you want your inside to be, put this on either end, just like this. With the raw edges facing your raw edges. And then you're going to sew this. So at my sewing machine now, I'm just line up all these edges. We're going to sew 1/4 inch seam all the way down. With the back stitch on the beginning and the end. Now if you see my batting sticking out a little bit on this side, that's okay. I'm going to line up my fabric with the fabric. And I'm going to leave that little bit of batting sticking out. Then you're going to turn this over and fold it in half and mark the center with a pen or something, about 3 to 4 inches from the top on both sides. And it doesn't have to be the exact center, just close. You're going to bring this up, lay one of your tape measure strips face down, make sure that covers it, and then you're going to fold your red squares diagonal twice. So you should have 2 sides that are not raw edges and 1 side that is a raw edge. You're going to line up this pin with the center of your triangle. And you're going to lay this here, and you're going to pull it over and make sure your flap covers the top of your triangle. You're going to take it back to your sewing machine. You're just going to go straight down the edge. You would fold it up, make sure you got all of that in there, it didn't come out. If you need to go over it again, you can sew over it again. But you're going to turn it around, do the same thing to this side. This face down, fold your triangle this way. And if you want to press these, you can, or pin them. You can pin it so it stays closed. But then you line up the point with your pin and bring this over. And you want to make sure that your tape measure is at least 1/4 inch, if not a little bit more, from the edges. That's going to come in handy the next step. For right now, just pull that over. And I'm pulling it over fairly tight. We don't want the tape measure to wiggle around. Your pins out. Again, make sure that's tight enough for you. You just want to make sure this little sleeve is tight enough that the tape measure won't fall out and that this is attached. So if you want to use a decorative stitch there or add some lace or something, you can do that. So the last step is fold it in half with the wrong side out. Line up the tops. And then starting at the fold, you want to feel up here to make sure your tape measure is going to be well out of the way. You can even scoot it over a little bit if you think it might be too close. And you're going to sew all the way up with a 1/4 inch seam. Other side, open this up, push your tape measure over as far as it will go so it's right up against this seam. And again, starting at the fold. Now when you get close to this, I like to slow down and feel just to make sure that these are going to be out of the way. Feels like they're going to be pretty close. I'm going to try to push them over a little bit, but you do not want to sew through that, so go really, really slow to make sure. Now, this step is optional. You can bind this with 2.5 inch binding. You can trim the raw edges so it's a little bit nicer. But after that, you're done. You just turn it right side out. And since there's no zippers or anything, you don't have to worry about zippers. Poke the ends out. And you're done.